Cody Rhodes finally turns heel, the best and worst of WWE SmackDown. A WWE referee gets real-life heat, Logan Paul gets in trouble, Logan Paul shares an update on his brother Jake Paul, backstage WWE drama, bad news for wrestlers interested in WWE, Gunther spoiler, a new WWE Champion crowned, spoiler, WWE creative should be sent home. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE SmackDown. The latest episode of WWE SmackDown saw the feuds and storylines shift gears as the company prepares to head into the Royal Rumble season. The show was already taped in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and featured several great matches and segments. Friday Night SmackDown has been under criticism lately for its declining quality and lack of anything substantial. Every other week, the same things keep repeating, giving fans a monotonous product. Triple H has been filling the shows with recap videos and meaningless backstage segments. It is hardly possible for fans to point out any positives from the blue brand. However, WWE still managed to do a handful of things right this week. Number 1, the best. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair making a statement. The women's tag team division has become quite interesting, with multiple tag teams emerging to take center stage. Amid this crowded division, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair were lost in the shuffle. However, WWE took that into notice. This week on SmackDown, the babyface duo unleashed an attack on Nia Jax and Lash Legend, prompting them to retreat. Bliss and Flair made a bold statement, making it clear that the women's tag team division cannot overlook them. Showcasing their dominance on the show was the right move by Triple H, as the two veterans desperately needed that. It was the perfect way to reignite Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair's momentum and establish them as a major threat to the women's tag team champs. Number 2, the worst. Destroying the credibility of the Kabuki Warriors. Since winning the WWE Women's Tag Team titles from Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss on November 10th, Asuka and Kairi Sane have lost every match they've been in. This includes the losing side in War Games and 2 singles losses for Sane to Bliss and Sky. Lash Legend and Nia Jax defeated the champs in a tag team bout on the latest episode of SmackDown. Those losses are clearly to set up the challenges, but going 0-4 since winning the titles greatly damages the credibility of the title holders. Number 3, the best. Cody Rhodes putting Nick Aldis on notice. Cody Rhodes has always been the epitome of humility and the man who religiously follows everything he has been told. This had somewhat made his babyface character look vulnerable, but Triple H finally cured that problem last night. This week on SmackDown, Rhodes unleashed a verbal scathing against Nick Aldis when the latter tried to teach him rules. The American Nightmare showcased a whole different side of himself, putting Aldis on the edge of a sword. It was the best move WWE had pulled in a long time. Cody Rhodes being condescending elevated his character to a whole new level, making him look like a legitimate threat. This was the need of the hour, as his feud with Drew McIntyre demanded that he showcase his ruthless side. Number 4, the worst. A strange dynamic in both women's matches. An easy way for officials to book a match is to have a heel to boo and a face to cheer. Wrestling is more advanced in 2025, so there are levels to cheering. Some fans like the heels no matter what, while some fans root for whom WWE tells them to root for. Both women's contests on SmackDown pitted heels against each other. The Kabuki Warriors were cheered against Jax and Legend. Alba Fire was the face by default against Julia, because fans like Chelsea Green. It created a weird dynamic in the matches due to the booking decisions officials made. Number 5, the best. The Wyatt Six and the MFT closing WWE SmackDown. One of the biggest feuds going on in SmackDown is the Wyatt Six versus the MFT. However, fans have shown little interest in this. This week on SmackDown, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy defended the WWE Tag Team Championship against Tonga Loa and JC Mateo. However, the match ended in a no contest, leading to a massive brawl between both teams. Triple H made the right call by showcasing an all-out faction versus faction brawl between the MFT and the Wyatt Six. This has ignited fans' interest in the feud and elevated the ongoing storyline to a new level. Besides, the pandemonium closing the show was a great way to highlight the feud's significance on the blue brand and make it look like a heated rivalry. Number 6, the worst. Cody Rhodes is still a hero, right? Watching the latest episode of SmackDown made it seem like Cody Rhodes was the bad guy, and Drew McIntyre was the hero. Rhodes not only crashed into McIntyre at his home, but also big-leagued friend and general manager Nick Aldis. McIntyre did attack Rhodes on his bus, but he brings his family to the arena on the bus for every show. Since Aldis has never punished Cody, he feels like he's above the law. That's intensified because he's the champion. The American Nightmare also claimed that Aldis works for him, not the other way around. With every passing week, the Scottish Warrior's claims seem more and more reasonable, given how Rhodes acts. Number 7, the worst. SmackDown's tag team title main event match ended in disqualification. WWE has built up a showdown between the MFTs and the Wyatt Six for over 3 months. It's caused the Wyatts not to show up live for weeks on end. That's even worse, considering they haven't put the belts on the line in 2 months. With such a highly anticipated match, it felt like a waste of time when the contest ended in a disqualification. It left the fans in attendance stunned, since the two sides continued the fight as SmackDown ended. But since the titles have been an afterthought for 2 months, a disqualification ending on a night with only 4 matches felt like a lazy booking decision. Fans have waited long enough. A WWE referee gets real-life heat. A WWE referee has reportedly received heat backstage for his actions. This week's episode of NXT saw Blake Monroe defend her Women's North American Championship against Thea Hale. The match ended in chaos with Hale accidentally pinning Monroe to win the title, which was not the original finish. The referee made the 3 count with Monroe unable to kick out on time after a springboard back senton. According to reports, this outcome caused a scramble backstage, with the creative forced to make changes for the upcoming shows. Now, a report on the reaction over the ref's handling of the situation has emerged. Fightful Select initially reported WWE sources had told them that the referee, Felix Fernandez, got props backstage for calling the match like a shoot and going ahead with the title change. However, later it came to light people pushed back on this report. The report mentions that some people claimed that the referee got heat for not checking on Blake Monroe when she was perceived to be hurt. Earlier, it was reported that the Glamour had the win knocked out of her after the senton, and hence couldn't get her shoulder up in time to continue the bout. The botched finish to the NXT Women's North American title match could lead to a major WWE rule change. The unplanned finish led to chaos backstage as the creative team tried to get a hold of what happened, since the brand was wrapping up filming for the year. It was reported that as a result of this situation, the company will now require talent to stay until the end of the tapings in the future. Additionally, it is also reported that the promotion is planning a title rematch between Blake Monroe and Thea Hale, scheduled to take place on January 6, 2026 at New Year's Eve. Logan Paul gets in trouble. WWE's Logan Paul often has a knack for getting into trouble, whether it's inside the ring or outside the Stamford-based promotion. Recently, he got into some trouble after Jake Paul faced Anthony Joshua. It was a big night for Anthony Joshua in Miami, Florida, when he went head-to-head against Jake Paul. In the end, Joshua conquered Paul in the 6th round when he handed the problem child the first stoppage loss of his entire boxing career. However, the pandemonium didn't stop there. After the 36-year-old star's win in Miami, WWE's Logan Paul found himself in some fun yet harmless trouble. After the dust settled, Logan tried to steal Anthony's chain before his team stepped in to stop the former United States champion. The ruse failed as Paul was spotted and got into it with Anthony Joshua's team. While the Maverick was messing around with Joshua, his team didn't take it lightly and verbally confronted Paul. Moreover, there was some mild physical confrontation involved, like shoving each other, but the situation didn't escalate, and Logan Paul was separated from Joshua's team. In 2022, Logan Paul became a sports entertainer when he stepped inside the ring for the first time at WrestleMania 38. Not only did he win the match against the Mysterios, but he also started a feud with The Miz in the Stamford-based promotion, which concluded at SummerSlam. It's been nearly 4 years, and the Maverick has become a staple in the Stamford-based promotion and has won the United States Championship from Rey Mysterio. While he made advances as a professional wrestler, he hasn't competed inside a boxing ring for a while. A few months ago, Mike Majlak, Paul's close friend and co-host of Impulsive, claimed that the former WWE United States Champion is done with boxing. Moreover, he added that he's a wrestler for life going forward, and it can be seen with his recent work with The Vision. Logan Paul shares an update on his brother Jake Paul. Logan Paul has shared a 2-word message after his brother Jake Paul suffered a broken jaw against Anthony Joshua. Joshua won via knockout in the 6th round of the fight. Paul versus Joshua, billed as Judgment Day, took place under the heavyweight division. The fight was set for 8 3-minute rounds and saw Paul compete in the heavyweight division once again. He made his heavyweight debut against Mike Tyson. On his Instagram story, Jake's brother Logan shared a 2-word message on behalf of the former. During Jake's post-fight interview, he revealed that he had broken his jaw from one of Joshua's hits. "He good," wrote Logan. Logan Paul recently confirmed that he is no longer a part-timer in WWE. He also hit back at fans for labeling him with the same term. Speaking on his YouTube channel in a recently uploaded vlog, the Maverick had this to say: "Hey, they're telling me that I'm a part-timer and an outsider, like I'm not working my effing ass off. Hey, newsflash IWC, get out your calendars. No, F that. I'll do it for you. I have wrestled November 24th, November 29th, December 8th, and December 15th. That's today. 4 out of the 5 weeks I'm in a match. I'm wrestling. I'm working my ass off. People say like, oh, he takes effing weeks. He takes months to learn the match. That's why his matches are so good. F you. My matches are good because I'm effing good. And mind you, may I add, I won all of those matches. Me. Not only am I working, I'm winning. And I can't stand it." Paul is a member of The Vision and has been a regular on WWE TV in recent weeks. Backstage WWE drama. Fans may get to witness some backstage drama in WWE soon. The Stamford-based promotion has put out a few intriguing and personal storylines over the years, and things were taken to a new level this year. With the launch of WWE Unreal on Netflix, fans got a behind-the-scenes look at how a show is put together and an insight into the writer's room. A few days ago, Netflix confirmed the 2nd season of the docu-series set to air from January 20th, 2026. Now, the streaming giant has shared some more details on the new season and a hint of what to expect. Season 2 of the show will follow storylines and superstars on the road to SummerSlam 2025, according to an update from Tudum by Netflix. Now WWE Unreal is back for Season 2 on Netflix, with more wild plot twists, larger-than-life personas, and backstage drama, an excerpt from the website reads. Though at the moment it is not clear which stars will be featured in the backstage drama, Netflix has announced that top stars such as Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and Cody Rhodes will be featured in Season 2. The show will also feature Pat McAfee, country singer Jelly Roll, Rhea Ripley, and Sky, among others. This season will have 5 50-minute episodes like the first one. Notably, season 1 of the show saw some spicy drama backstage, with the promo between Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, where the Buff Barbie referenced the Queen's divorces, piquing fan interest. Both stars went off script, and Stratton was asked to apologize to Flair backstage. It will be interesting to see what this new season will bring to the table. During an appearance on the Something's Burning podcast, Seth Rollins and his wife Becky Lynch shared their thoughts on WWE. Unreal. While the man said she likes the show, Rollins said he hated it. The visionary said even though everything is planned by the creative team in pro wrestling, an element of surprise and doubt still exists. He said that a series like Unreal is killing that aspect, and that's why he isn't a fan of the show. Bad news for wrestlers interested in WWE. WWE is the world's largest professional wrestling company. Many performers from all across the globe aspire to be a part of the Stamford-based promotion. However, in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer reported that performers from TNA and AEW, who reached out to World Wrestling Entertainment, had been told that the global juggernaut was not looking for hiring talent for the time being. The wrestling promotion reportedly does not need more stars, as many of the developmental talents are ready for the main roster. Meltzer further addressed the rumors of WWE potentially signing wrestling veteran Chris Jericho and TNA star Leon Slater in the future. He pointed out that those names were exceptions to the other stars. We were told that, of late, talent from both TNA and AEW who have called WWE have been told that they aren't looking at hiring new people. The idea is that they have so many in developmental, many of whom are ready, that they don't need new people. This is not an absolute, and obviously guys the level of Chris Jericho or Leon Slater wouldn't necessarily fall into that category, Meltzer said. Chris Jericho has been absent from AEW for several months, having wrestled his last match back in April. There has been a lot of speculation surrounding his potential exit from Tony Khan's promotion and a return to World Wrestling Entertainment. On a recent edition of the 83 Weeks podcast, wrestling veteran Eric Bischoff said that Y2J is a smart person who plans ahead for his future. The 70-year-old added that he can bet all his money on Jericho going back to the global juggernaut. He's a very smart guy and he plans ahead. He thinks ahead. If I had to bet money, I would bet he's going to end up in WWE. If I had to bet, and somebody would really have a reason to force me because I wouldn't want to take that bet, but if I had to, that's where I'm putting my bet. I don't know what the plan is, but Chris has got a plan, Bischoff said. It will be interesting to see if and when Chris Jericho makes his much-awaited return to the Stamford-based promotion. Gunther spoiler. Gunther has been the talk of the WWE Universe since last Saturday, when he did what he said he would do and made John Cena tap out. A huge rematch was teased on the Raw tapings, as he was interrupted by not one, but two legends. Gunther opened Raw this past week by proudly boasting about his accomplishment at Saturday night's main event, calling John Cena a little bi and drawing the ire of the WWE Universe. Even the Raw general manager Adam Pearce told him that he went too far and sent him home as he was done for the night. But that wasn't before he teased retiring AJ Styles as well. This week, the 22nd December episode of Raw was pre-taped prior to SmackDown. Gunther came out and continued to insult John Cena, and he was interrupted by Rey Mysterio and CM Punk, the latter of whom he lost to at SummerSlam this year. Punk and the Ring General had a stare down to tease a rematch. While Rey Mysterio would go on to face Austin Theory of the Vision in the main event of the night, the Ring General and John Cena's final opponent had a fairly short night in the office. It remains unclear what the next steps are for him after beating John Cena, but it's clear that something big awaits him. He might just be a silent observer on January 5th, when Braun Breaker looks to topple CM Punk and become the World Heavyweight Champion. Interestingly enough, the world title match features two men who have defeated him, and not many can say that about the Austrian star other than Ilya Dragunov and Sami Zayn. A new WWE Champion crowned. Spoiler. There has been a massive title change in a spoiler for next week's episode of WWE SmackDown. A new champion has been crowned. In a twist on the taping for the December 26th edition of WWE SmackDown, a new champion has now been crowned. Earlier in the night, Ilya Dragunov had made the unpopular announcement that he was bringing the United States Championship Open Challenge to an end on the show. This meant that the Open Challenge series that Sami Zayn had started was not going to continue. Although the stars had all been for the Open Challenge, it was coming to an end, even with the approaching 3-hour shows for SmackDown. Carmelo Hayes faced his former partner Ilya Dragunov, and they met in a huge match on the show. The stars did battle on the show, with both having a lot of respect for the other, but holding nothing back in a very hard-hitting match. They went for each other, and it looked like Dragunov was going to be picking up the win as usual to close off the Open Challenge series, but it was not to be. Carmelo Hayes came back into the match out of nowhere, and got the win over Dragunov to become the new WWE United States Champion. After the match, Dragunov showed his usual good sportsmanship and spirit. He raised Carmelo Hayes' hand to celebrate him as the new US Champion. He then even put the belt on him. It seems that Dragunov's very intense reign, which he started after defeating Sami Zayn, is now over. Unfortunately, this means that the star is done as the champion for now, but it remains to be seen if he gets a rematch in the near future. Given that he is on good terms with Hayes, it could happen. UE Creative should be sent home. WWE has been slammed for the booking of two of its top stars by a veteran. The creative team led by the chief content officer Triple H has come under scrutiny for some of its decisions recently. Questions have been raised around the booking of John Cena's retirement tour and the lack of fresh faces. There have also been concerns over how the promotion has treated some of its top stars. On Behind the Turnbuckle Studios Coach and Bro, a fan told Vince Russo and Jonathan Coachman that LA Knight was taken off TV so that people don't expect him in the Royal Rumble match. The fan wrote that WWE doesn't want the audience to hijack the show if Knight competes in the match and doesn't win. Coachman mentioned that Damian Priest recently said in an interview that the company is giving him rest to save his body. However, Russo called out the promotion's creative, saying they have no clue about what to do with their top stars. Let's translate that for the good people watching at home. Creative does not have a clue what to do with them. And that's why, guys, Damian Priest and LA Knight should not be sent home. Creative should be sent home, he said. LA Knight was written off TV on Raw after a vicious backstage attack by The Vision a couple of weeks ago. The megastar is one of the popular names on the roster, hence the decision to keep him away from the ring is debatable. Meanwhile, Damian Priest is feuding with Aleister Black and Zelina Vega on SmackDown. While this is a fresh feud, Priest has failed to touch the heights he achieved after holding the World Heavyweight Championship last year. After losing to Logan Paul on the December 8th episode of Raw, LA Knight was beaten up by The Vision. However, the assault didn't end in the ring. Backstage, he was targeted again, and this time, Bronson Reed delivered a tsunami on him through the roof of a car. This week on WWE Raw, commentators Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore confirmed Knight's injuries, saying that he has a cracked sternum. It was added that the former U.S. champion would be out of action indefinitely as a result of the injury. Cody Rhodes finally turns heel. A beloved WWE star could turn heel thanks to Drew McIntyre. The Scottish psychopath has been chasing the WWE Championship for some time on SmackDown and has managed to get on the nerves of Cody Rhodes. Despite losing twice to the American Nightmare, McIntyre isn't done with him. The two stars engaged in a brawl in the Scottish star's home. This led to the SmackDown GM agreeing to McIntyre's conditions for a return. McIntyre said Rhodes had to agree not to attack him before their upcoming World Championship match, and second, he'd get to pick the stipulation for their match. On the recent edition of SmackDown, Nick Aldis confronted Rhodes and blamed him for forcing him to accept a bad deal with McIntyre. In response, the WWE Champion cut a passionate promo on Aldis and listed down his accomplishments since coming back to the company, and even declaring that he is the law. On the Busted Open podcast, Mark Henry reacted to the promo and said it was a very heelish act by the babyface champion. It's been a long time since we heard the guy that's the leader, the guy that's the so-called QB1, that we call the franchise, come out and make an announcement that that's who he is. Sounded very heelish, he said. Henry then said perhaps it was McIntyre who was pushing Rhodes to the dark side and might force him to turn heel. Maybe it's the fact that Drew McIntyre is bringing this side of Cody out. The way that he's pushing Cody's buttons, if Cody don't find his own identity, we might lose Cody to the dark side. He is not just trying to win the title, he's trying to break Cody, he added. After SmackDown, Drew McIntyre sent a message to Cody Rhodes after he agreed to a title match and the stipulation that he will be stripped of the championship if he attacks the Scottish Warrior before their match. McIntyre called him out for attacking him in public and said Rhodes was now descending into madness. He mentioned that Rhodes was not fit to be a champion and the reason he still has the title is due to bad officiating in their previous match.